point, I would like to address the panel VIPs to step up to the stage. Mr. Llatja, you know, already were here yesterday, Mayor of Elbasan. Ms. Cela, Head of International Relationships. Mr. Robert Gajda, High Commissioner of Protection Against Discrimination. Mr. Fatmir, Popja, Media PR. Mr. Juljan Kasapi, IT teacher of ET vet school Cela. Oh my God, it's fantastic. And Mr. Tauland Bala, who was expected yesterday, we are glad to have him today, Head of Majority Parliamentary Group. So I have him. So, big group of, well, let me go. One after another. Once again, yes. Ladies first usually, but we are very democratic, so just like. Well, the question to the mayor was already asked, the best opportunity now, so what are you going to do for the youth?
I want to thank the guy. I don't listen your name, and it's a pleasure that in Elvis this conference you all are here. It's, as we say yesterday, this one is the first step of this conference. And next year, I think and I hope we have a wonderful project for the youth center that we want to construct. We are finishing the project, and we are going to apply for the funds. And I hope, and I really hope, I think that this will go to happen next year, and that we are going to organize next year this conference in the youth center. It will be a wonderful object. There we will have all the facility of the activities for the youth and everything else. And after next year, I'm sure that we are going to start next year, and I think that we'll finish in December. So for sure that next year we will have this youth center. As I said yesterday, it's very important for us, for me as a new mayor and a young mayor, to listen to all the youth of all the young people, your voice and everything else. And for this one, I want this council, as I said yesterday. I took a lot of interest from some of you to be part of this council. The council that we have now in the municipality is made from 51 councillors elected from the people of Elbasan. If are we going to make the same election either for the young people who wants to come and to be part of the council of the youth, it will be very nice. Or if you want to be part of that, we are going to select, not as I said yesterday, we don't need only the good students. We want all the young people in this council. It's very important to hear the voice of the youth, and this is the first step. Next year, of course, we have some projects for the startup. Yesterday we had a very, very good brief about the startup, yes? The lady was very good in explaining the startup project. We have a lot of potential in Elbasan. We are not a touristic place yet, but we have a lot of potential, touristic potential. We have dinner. Next year we are going to construct the street for Kotherja, we call it. It's one of the most wonderful places that we have here. We have Onofre there, we have Kotherja there, we have all the school of Onofre in the painting of the church there. So if we are going to make the destination that we have just a little bit longer than just going in dinner, eating something, or just making a ride there, or drinking a coffee or something, We are going to make this destination that we have a bit longer, just to make 2 or 3 other destinations in the point that we have. And of course, we have Funari. Funari will be not for the next year ready, maybe for 2 or 3 years, because we need a lot of investment there. It's a wonderful places, and the touristic places. We have Gajda. We have the castle here. It's one of the most wonderful places that we have. Next year, we want to start a project. We speak a lot of Elvis with touring, with a guy who has the tourist company. We speak with a lot of stakeholders to create an organism, to create something just for supporting the startup in the Cela. And as the municipality, we want to make a fund for the young people who want to start a business there. We are ready to give to them some money for investing there, and of course, we are ready to take a lot of ideas for you and to make this kind of tourism and business in Cela very, very attractive for all the tourists and for all the people who live here. We have other projects, of course, for the young people. Yesterday we talked about the job or the opportunity to make some investment into or to create this kind of relation between all the stakeholders, the industry, the business, the state, and the youth to find themselves there. And next year, I'm sure that we are going to organize another council of the Council of Youth, who will be represented in this council with the industry, with the stakeholders, with the state, just to organize and to be ready for the next step of the economy and the tourism industry. I don't know that I forgot something or...
Well, as commitments, I wrote down the youth center.
Yes.
And fund for startups.
For startups, yes.
Is that correct, or did I?
Of course. The council, the youth council.
Yeah. Youth center.
The youth center, the youth council, and
what? The youth? Not the youth center, the council.
Yeah.
It's part of the municipality.
I need some consigliere from the youth. Advisors.
Oh, like an advisory board.
Oh,
Not a youth center as a building.
A youth center as a building is one. We have the project ready for that.
Okay, so I got that down. Oh, and the third, you mean, it's the third would be that committee or council?
A council of advisors from the youth.
Ah, okay, so I put that down too. All right, good. Youth council, very good. So how will you go about the youth council? How will you find them? I mean, volunteers from here, maybe, or
of course, volunteers from here. If we are going to elect from the young people, I'm open to find them.
Okay, yeah, but you have to take the initiative. You have to,
of course,
take the rules.
Of course.
So will you publicize?
First step, we are going in all the college just to announce the project for the next year, and of course the university or in open to just to the interest people are coming in the municipality with them with CV or with them with the vision that they have, and we bring up a commission just from the young people to elect them, or they are going to elect by themselves. They are going to elect themselves. One of them.
Well, I think that's a wonderful idea to.
We have
for participation.
Now we have 51 councillors in the municipality, and maybe it will be good that we have 51.
Oh, young people to match.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea. And it very much picks up what has been said by numerous lecturers who said, be active, speak up, it's your life, don't, bring yourself in. And yeah, I can only...
This one is the
encourage
project. I think we are going to do a project for
that's
the youth center.
youth center.
Yes, for the youth center.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell a little bit more about the capacity program idea
For the youth center? Yeah. We have a project with the municipality is not good to organize or to arrange the youth center. We are going to collaborate with an organization, World Vision. We speak with them, we are going to construct the youth center, and they are going to organize and to run everything there. It will be, and to be care about all the project and for the youth and everything else.
Yeah, but will it be a wide range from music to computer courses, or will it
Of course, everything will be there. From the music, either course for music, for technology, for everything. I think that it will be the best project that we have.
Sounds very
So,
good.
you can ask for details.
I think this one is the first floor. This one is
Auditorium?
now we are making this conference in the theater. It's not the best one.
Theater auditorium.
Here, this one will be the perfect for this kind of conference.
Yeah, it's very nice. In my election, I have a lot of support from Thailand, and we started with because our municipality can find all the funds for that, and with the help of Thailand. It's always
Of course, we need some money from
money.
government,
Yes.
and the right person who can find the money for Elbasan is Thailand. So we have a lot of support from Thailand for this project and for other projects that we have here. Because we have a big project either for Elbasan, either for the environment, as the PD said before, we have to take care of our environment. I want to next year start another project. We called it the Green Wall. We want to construct a wall with a tree near to the industrial area. After 5, 6, or 10 years, the trees are older enough or are bigger enough just to create this kind of green wall from the industrial area. We have another project that we're trying. Thailand was 1 month ago in Japan, and we hope a lot to take a project with Gajda for craftsmen. Every one of us needs this green area that we have here, craftsmen, just to revitalize that area. Either the project we called it Lugafiume. In Thailand we call it Lugafiume because we want to construct near the river of Elbasan. Because Elbasan, river Spoonbill took the name from the castle of Elbasan, from Scampini. We call it the river Spoonbill from Scampini name. Now, so the river is very connected to the city, and never we have a city inside near to the river. We have this idea, we have this vision, just to construct a Lugafiume, we call it a pedonal area near to the river, to be accessed from all the citizens, and from Krasta to go near to the river and everything, just to the city to go near to the river. So.
Right, fantastic. Maybe we talk about Cela?
Thank you very much for inviting me here. It's a great honor to greet the first youth conference, bringing together around 200 very excellent students from the gymnasiums of Elbasan and also from the university. And I would like also to thank you and all 15 lecturers that had this occasion to be part of this conference. First of all, for those who are attending us mainly from Facebook or any television, I have to say that while Elbasan, I completely agree with the organizers that Elbasan is a city recognized in the whole country for being the capital of education in Albania. it's a cradle of the education. Why? Because mainly more than 50% of all teachers in Albania have been graduated in Elbasan, and that's why this city is the cradle of the education. Another argument why Elbasan, for sure Albania remains one of the best examples of cohabitation in between religions, but when it comes to Elbasan, Elbasan is completely next stage of cohabitation. There is no activity where one of the religions misses to respect the activity of the other religion. Me as a member of parliament, I can admit that we have a very good cooperation with the leaders of the 4 or 5 main religions that are in Elbasan, and this is another example. The castle of Elbasan is the only field castle in the Balkans, or I could say in Europe, where inside the castle you find the mosque, and then 20 meters ahead you have an Orthodox church, and on the left you have another Catholic church, and as you go some more steps you have also a synagogue. So there is no other place in the world I can say that you have so close, so important institutions of faith. Third, I'm very glad that you have chosen Elbasan also, because Elbasan has so many youngsters that are well trained and well prepared. I followed the topics that you have been discussing here. All of them are very important. Digitalization is the challenge that we all have in front of us. There has been a lot of good work to be done during the last 6 years by our government, but sure that digitalization needs to go ahead. Digitalization does not mean that everybody must have a Facebook account or a Twitter or an Instagram. Digitalization is services. What, for example, we are going to do next year. One of the complaints that always people have in front of me, in front of the mayors, is that people are queuing in front of the old offices to wait to get a license, to get a certificate or something like this. 2020 is the year of complete digitalization. So next December there will not be any office in Albania which will keep people on the queue, but every kind of service will be taken through internet. So just at your home or through your mobile, you can apply for a certificate or for a license for 95% of the services. Surely there is a 5% which are very, very specific licenses, which need, a kind of eye-to-eye meeting because of the explanations, for example, or very specific certificates. But 95% of the services will be online, and this is a good step ahead for Albania. While we were discussing here also for networking and socializing, I said it before, Albania could be the first country in the Balkans for sure, but also in Europe, one of the first countries for number per capita of social network accounts. In Facebook we are on the highest level. Also some of the accounts are fake, and during this very bad time that we were just passing after the earthquake, we saw that some people abuse with their accounts, abuse with their fake news, and this creates panic to the people. And here for sure that we need to improve the law that everybody has his personal account and take responsibility for everything that gives to the public. And surely, last but not least, and the most important, I would like to thank all the young people, but all the people of Elbasan and all the people of Albania for the solidarity that has been shown to the families that lost their people after the earthquake. There were 51 Albanians who lost their lives after the earthquake, and there were some hundreds being injured. but the solidarity that Albania showed, and not only Albania, but also our neighbors, also our strategic partners, including the United States, including Germany. I was told you're from Germany, but maybe all over, but surely the solidarity here. I've been with the mayor, meeting a lot of people, entrepreneurs that contributed to this, and what the youth has been doing, going in every home and collecting any kind of help that any family can offer, was a good example of what kind of youth we're having, and this is a guarantee for the prosperity of our nation. Thank you very much.
From all the things you shared, and you get 10 points from the tourist office for promoting Elbasan and the sites.
That's my obligation.
I take down the digitalization of administration as your promise. That's for everybody, but of course also for the youth.
Oh, look, digitalization is the best medicine against corruption. Once you digitalize any kind of activity and eliminate eye-to-eye contact, you have done a good policy against corruption. And that's not, look, that's not our invention. It's an invention that your country has done it some many years before, and also, but you still have the.
I think Albania is in front of Germany in that respect. I must admit. Yes.
I know. I always, when I come to Berlin, I always ask, when are you going to open the new airport in Berlin? Although that it has been done since 10 years, and you also say there is a corruption issue in there. So we can't do it. But surely,
Yeah,
you are our example.
That's not correct.
But we have some good examples like our youth. So.
Well, you have many good examples. Berlin Airport is not corruption, I think, mainly. It's the problem that politics intervened in a
That's another kind of corruption.
Yeah, but it's another chapter. Otherwise, yes, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Mr. Bayer.
Thank you very much.
That's very good. So we have interesting commitments there. So I need more commitments.
Next year I'll be here, and you can ask the people if this
Exactly.
this pledge was. Surely, if I could continue, I can give more. But this is linked to what you have been discussing.
Exactly. That's
Thank you very much.
And I take a green pencil like this and make it.
Thank you.
And for everyone you gets a big applause then. So right. So maybe. Continue.
I was thinking not to make promises, but let's put some goals. So from the University of Elbasan, what we are going to say today are going to be the main goals. First of all, it's to widen the collaboration with public and private sector in the city. We have had great experience so far on collaborating with different actors, active actors of the city, as we are part of the conference today, so much of this. But we need to widen it and to focus the main points of the collaboration, having into consideration the youth and their future. The second one, it is going to be the internalization of university. So far we have done a great job regarding the possibilities given to students for credit mobility thanks to the Llatja system that we are part of now. So we also have in attention the fact that the number of universities that we are collaborating and study programs that we are collaborating to include more. Having this number from the study programs most wanted from the students. So far we have like 44 interinstitutional agreements under Erasmus+. We have almost 200 mobilities of students incoming and outgoing. But they have been focused only on some study programs. This time we want to expand or evolve more study programs for students students to be part of the exchange program. I saw some ex-Erasmus Plus students at the conference today, so involved on the organization of the event, so I'm so proud of them. And the third goal that we want to achieve, taking into consideration what was said from the academic staff, what was said from the private business sector, is the idea to develop new study programs and focus mainly on the practice hours for students, giving them the possibility to find a shorter way within the study program and the labor market. Not only to widen the collaboration that we are having together, we already signed an agreement, so all students at the University of Elbasan that start the study program of languages, tourist guides, of marketing, they can have their practice hours at your academy, but on the other hand, to work together, to sit down and to make a plan how our study programs should be based mostly on the needs of the labor market than on the academic aspects of that. So 3 goals to summarize.
3 goals and I need 1 promise.
To fulfill the goals.
Well, then there are promises.
Yes, there are 3 promises. Then, first of all, to expand the collaboration with the public and private sector. Second, to have a wider number of universities, European and non-European universities, in collaboration together to have possible the mobility of students, greater mobility of students. And the third one is going to be the development of new curriculum or extracurriculum courses based on the student needs and labor market needs.
Are you planning a council or a committee for that, including the young people?
At the University of Elbasan, we already have a council of students.
Okay.
We also have the voice of students, part of our academic senates. These representatives are chosen by the students, so we have like true elections and all democratic process on choosing representatives of the students. So these promises are also requests that came from the Council of Students, that came from the students that are part of the Academic Senate.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
So, we continue where you already have the microphone in the hand. So, you want to continue? Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for the invitation. It's my first time on the stage of a theater. I've been always expected. But on the other hand, it's my first time I'm finding myself in a strange environment. Because we are in a theater, we are talking about entrepreneurship, talking about digitalization, IT, and I'm a lawyer. So this is my first strange opinion. And the other one is that I represent an institution which is in protection of human rights. And probably this makes the link. Because since we are talking about youngs who have to learn, who have to be the digitalized men, and they have to create their startups and the new entrepreneurships, we have to see the things a little bit close from a human rights perspective. Because usually it happens then big and strong businesses are good in doing money, but on the other hand they are not so good in respecting the human rights and also respecting the rights of their employees. And so I think that probably this is a good moment or a good situation for me to talk with youngs who have this desire to be big entrepreneurs in the future, to create big businesses, to make money, why not? But on the other hand, they have to be more sensitive and more careful to human rights. And especially, I think that the potential of the society is in all the peoples of the society. But the mentalities or the cultures of the society tends to exclude people from being part of business environment or entrepreneurship. And on the other hand, I think that if a big business has to be very good and have to be a very strong business and to see to the future and to the years to come, not just in the moment it is created. I think that we have to create businesses which are more human, and so to be more inclusive to the people, and so to make part of this business which have a lot of skills to improve, to include all the people of the society and not to exclude them. And I think that if the youngs have this inspiration or have these thoughts, so when they create, they always think about how to include and how to make people available for what they are and for what they can give to the society and to the business. I think that we can have strong businesses but also more humanized businesses. And so the entrepreneurship can start or can be a good example how business can be a community, not just a business for the money. And I think that one of the groups of the society which create mostly concern to my daily job are, for example, people with disabilities, which most in the society are seen like incapable to do things. But I think that we have to start to think that they are not people who are incapable, but they are very capable people, but we have to create the possibilities for these people to see how capable they are and what they can give, not only to the entrepreneurship, but also to society. So we have to make good examples.
Well, if we take, I'd like to pick that up, people with physical disabilities, sure. As an example, because otherwise we are so vague, and I want to end up with something concrete. Let's talk about people with, let's say, physical disabilities. Of course, they can be very productive in life if they are trained. And I understand that in Albania you have a law whereby companies for every, I think, 25 employees
have to employ one person with
right. So, but it only makes sense if they are trained,
of course.
Otherwise, it's not good for them and not good for the company. So, is there anything in that respect that you want to commit yourself to? Say we open up new programs for training for instance.
Yeah, I can make promises, but I want to make promises which I can keep.
That's what we like.
My institution is not an institution like a municipality or like a ministry, etc., who have the human resource and financial resource to create things.
Yeah.
They are an institution who can monitoring things and to push the things to be done. And one of the things that I can promise is that yes, I can push the things with several entrepreneurs in Albania, but also in Elbasan. For example, Elvis is one of the entrepreneurs who have shown itself ready or prepared to give the opportunity to persons with disabilities to make training, so to be more available at the work market.
Yeah.
And my promise is that yes, I will bother it all the year, since we get the trainings or practices for the people with disabilities.
Well, I think Elvis is, so far as I know, wide open if you deliver trained persons.
But I don't want to include only Elvis, but others.
Yeah, but they all need trained persons.
Elvis can be a good start.
Yeah. So, what is your promise that you push for in Parliament for money for those programs?
But I think this is not a question of Parliament, because the Parliament already has approved those. The promise is that yes, I will communicate with several entrepreneurs to push the things and to create a concrete environment for the people with disabilities to be part of these trainings and then to be available to the work market for the skills they will learn in these trainings.
Well, I put it down as
Pushing things.
pushing things. That's great. we all can sign that. I write this. It's just a word in bullet point. So, all right. So we'll take it from that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, exactly. And we have already talked outside, so you know what I'm expecting.
Hello everybody. Thanks to Gajda Albanian, I got introduced myself to see my name how it is. I'm Juljan Kasapi and I work as a teacher, an ICT teacher and a business relationships coordinator of Salih Ceka Professional High School. Today I'm going to talk about my school. It has 7 different courses and many profiles. In total, we have about 650 students. We aim to increase the numbers over the years. I would like to write down, because I'm a teacher and as a teacher, sorry, my profession is to write things, and I would like to write down my 2 commitments. Okay, is it possible?
You want to write?
Yeah, I will.
Sure.
And later I will explain.
Okay. So you cannot read it. First, here are the names, so we can match it. You can sign it. Is that that's your signature?
That's a commitment. So next year I will
So
promise we
please
will
explain.
commitments. The first commitment is career orientation, and we aim to do this with the parents and with the students since grade 7, because before it was at grade 9. So the students at grade 7 have 2 years to think about what they are going to study and see the professional school as an option. And the second commitment is the consolidation of business partnership, as we have done with the Travel Group. Our students develop different internships in the company, and many of them now are working for the company. And I would like, as the business relationship coordinator, to thank the General Manager, Mr. Elvis, Kotherja, for the opportunity has given the school for the partnership. We see them as a potential partner for the future. In the future, we aim to involve the company into the school promotion process to attract more students, to involve them in teacher trainings. That's, I think, a needed thing, but I can't write it as a commitment. It's a priority or a goal for the future. And making their mentors, the company mentors, part of the evaluation committee of the practice exams we develop in our school. That's a good point.
Makes sense. Can we accept that? Well, thank you very much. So let me make one comment. Of course, the group of people we have up here is very different, and of course, what they can do is, of course also very different. And we see already how different it is. But the point that we want to make is everybody can make a contribution in some way. And I'm especially anxious now, of course, to hear what the media side can do, whatever. And Mr. Popja.
Tani e kuptova pse jam në listuar I fundit panelit dhe pse duhet të flas vetëm shqip.
I will do the translation
Okay.
process.
All right.
Sorry for my bad English. I'm a lawyer myself, but let's
Tani
try.
kur organizatorët kanë caktuar rregullat, kishin caktuar që të shumtën vetëm një mund të flasë shqip nga paneli.
He's saying that now he understands why he was the last one.
Kjo ka dy arsye, por do të them vetëm një.
Let me translate. So he said, now I understand the fact that why I'm speaking last, because I'm the only one not speaking English.
Dhe para që Zoti Simon dhe gjithë ekspertët e tjerë që kishin këtu mes nesh në 48 orë të qëndrimit në Elbasan të kishin fatin të dëgjonin melodinë e fjalëve shqip.
The reason why I'm speaking Albanian is that Mr. Simon and other personalities, during the time they're going to stay in Elbasan, they can hear the melody of Albanian language.
Ndërsa të dytën do t'ja tregojmë një vit më pas Simonit dhe gjithë të tjerëve, kur kemi sërish në panel, arsyen tjetër pse duhet flasim vetëm shqip.
And the second reason why we are speaking, he's speaking Albanian, he's going to tell you next year when you come for the next conference.
Megjithatë, kjo nuk më të ndihem keqmi për kthyese talentuar si Zënjun Sheda dhe përballë Simon.
I'm not translating.
Translate.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, he's saying he doesn't feel bad for the fact that he doesn't speak English as long as he's being translated.
Padyshim që ishin 2 ditë që kemi marrë emocione jashtëzakonisht pozitive.
We took a lot of positive emotions during these 2 days.
Këtyre gjimnazistëve dhe studentëve, pra gjithë kësaj gjenerate të rish,
Among these youth, students and other students from high school, full of ambition,
mjaft të përkushtuar,
very committed,
të cilët kanë kaluar vërtet një fundjavë, një fillimjavë mjaft interesante që do ta kenë në kalendarin e jetës tyre nga ditët më të shënuara.
that during these 2 days have passed a very different weekend and a very different start of week that is going to be a special date on their calendar.
Dhe padyshim që për këtë merita I takon Elite Travel Group Albania dhe Akademi Elitës, të cilët të organizuan këtë event të jashtëzakonshëm, jo vetëm me prezencën e ekspertëve më të njohur që erdhën nga Europa, po dhe të personaliteteve të pushtetit vendor dhe atij qendror, siç ishte prania e kryebashkiakut Gledian, Llatja dhe kryetari I grupit parlamentar të Partisë Socialiste zoti Juljan.
And all the merits goes to Elite Travel and Elite Academy for organizing the event with the presence of local government representatives, with the mayor government representatives during these days.
Kam pasur fatin që si Shqipëria ashtu në Evropë dhe në botë, kemi qenë I pranishëm në shumë konferenca, po të filloj dhe të mbaroj anglisht, nuk kishte ndodhur as në Europë.
I have been participating in different conferences in Albanian and outside Albania in Europe, but the conference started in English and ended in English. This is the first time that we started.
Kështu që jo vetëm ne që ishim të pranishëm në këtë konferencë, por edhe qyteti jonë duhet krenohet me këtë event.
Not only us that have been participating in the conference, but the whole city should be very proud for this conference.
I cili djeli ka nisur një rrugtim të pandashëm
That yesterday started an unstoppable journey.
dhe që natyrisht do të jetë për të marrë shembull nga Universiteti Aleksandër Xhovani dhe nga të gjithë universitetet e tjera, po kështu dhe nga shumë institucione të cilat organizojnë konferenca të përmasave të tilla.
That it should be taken as an example from University of Elbasan, from other universities and different actors that organize these kind of events and conferences.
Interesi I shtuar I medias lokale dhe asaj qendrore nga fillimi I konferencës dhe deri tani që jemi tek koha shtesë e tregon më së miri jo vetëm rëndësinë, por edhe nivelin e panelistëve edhe të auditorëve.
The media interest very last minute overtime of the conference, thanks to the speakers, the keynote speakers that were participating.
Experiența ime për më shumë të 25 vitesh në median e shkruar dhe atë elektronike.
He's experienced 25 years experience in the written media and the electronic media as well.
I vën përballë një fluksi të jashtëzakonshëm postimesh në rrjetet sociale.
Was faced with a wider number of posts in the social media during the conference.
Tregon që kapitulimi I pjesëm I medias tradicionale përballë asaj medias sociale do të jetë shumë I shpejtë.
It shows that the ending capitulation of the classical media in front of this modernized media is going to be very fast.
Kështu që duke shfrytzuar fuqinë e jashtëzakonshme të rrjeteve sociale dhe të medias sociale, le të bëjmë një punë të jashtëzakonshme për ta përhapur atë çfarë ndodhi në këtë konferencë dhe ju të jeni ato liderët e parë të rritjes së përmasave të kësaj konference, e cila sikur se kanë thënë organizatorët, në vitet e ardhshme do të jetë shumë herë më e madhe.
So let's use the power of the social media has had and has shown during this conference that to have this event giving the right importance not only this year but also what is going to be happen next year, as it was promised that it's going to be a bigger event.
Kështu që ne shpresojmë që kontributi juaj do të jetë I jashtëzakonshëm, që festat e fundvitit na gjejnë sa më të lumtur dhe sa më të mobilizuar, le ta presim vitin 2020 me shpresë që të gjithë ju, jo vetëm që do të jeni pjesë e litrevur, por do të kontribuoni që përmasat e saj lokale, kombëtare të jenë të përmasave ndërkombëtare.
I'm summarizing. So let's hope that the contribution of the youth during the conference and being very near to the New Year feast and celebrations we are going to have, and together with Elite Travel, they can expand and make their voice heard better.